Hi beautiful people, welcome back to my channel, all series videos. Thank you so much for the likes, the comments, and for subscribing. In this video I'll be updating you on Twist of Fate. Guess what is in this particular update is a shocker for Akshay and Mihika, as Ranbir is about to apply Sender on Mihika. But what happened next will shock you. You need to watch till the end to find out how it happened. Please subscribe to this channel and don't forget to click on the notification button to be notified anytime I drop a new video. Please like this video, download this video, share this video, give it a thumbs up. I'll be giving you back-to-back updates on all this series. Let's go. The episode starts with Pallavi bringing Ria's clothes in her hand and throws at Ria. Ria asks, where is Ranbir? Pallavi asks her not to take Ranbir's name with her dainty tongue. Ria asks, where is Ranbir? And why are you talking to me like this? Pallavi says, whatever is happening is because of you. Ranbir has left this house and all of us because of you. Ria says, because of me? She asks, do you think that Ranbir left because of me? And says, sorry for answering. She says, Ranbir went far from you all because of Prachi and not me. Vikram asks Ria to go and says, I request you politely to leave, and tells that he doesn't want anything wrong or negativity here. Pallavi asks him to let her talk to her and says Ranbir left home because of you. Ria asks if he didn't return home after so many months. Dida asks her to stop her acting and says you are acting as if he is your something. Ria says he is my everything and cries. Vikram says, we can't bear to see you with Ranbir. Ria asks, what is my mistake? What has happened that you all changed? She says, Dida used to say that I am a blessing and life of this house. She reminds Pallavi of her promise that she will support her always. Pallavi says, that time, I didn't know that you don't love my son. Ria says, I love him. Pallavi says it is not love, but madness. She says love can't be snatched to get it. Ria says, I love him with true heart. Pallavi asks Ria if she was in touch with Aliyah or not. She says, don't lie. I came to know everything. She says, Aliyah got Ranbir kidnapped, but you didn't say anything. She says, you told me that you were going to the temple, but actually, you went to Aliyah's go down. She says, Aryan told us everything. She says, before I get out of control, leave from my house. Ria says, Auntie. Pallavi says, before I call the police, go away from here. She holds her hand and pushes her outside. She then throws her clothes out and closes the door. Ria knocks on the door and says, open the door. She says, this can't happen with me, and shouts that you are doing wrong with me. Whatever I did is with true heart. And what did I get in return? This house was mourning. I gave the new life and asked if you have forgotten. She says, I will not forget, and swears to take revenge for my insults. She says, what you said, that love shall not be snatched, and says she will take revenge for this and will not be peaceful until she takes revenge. Everyone gather at the dining table. Manpreet asks Ashok if everything is all right. He says yes. Abe and others hope Mihika is fine. Vishaka asks everyone to take Aarti. Everyone comes to take Aarti. Vishaka tells Ranbir that they have taken rounds yesterday and asks him to fill Mihika's mang with kumkum. Ranbir is shocked. He asks how can I apply kumkum to her just like that, and says you know how it is applied. Vishaka says I have kids of your age, and says when you are in a relationship and will marry her later. Then what is the problem to feel kumkum in her mang now? Ranbir apologized to Vishaka and says, I can't feel kumkum in Mihika's mang. Akshay asks, why can't you feel kumkum in Mihika's mang? Ranbir asks Mihika to say something. Mihika asks Ranbir what's the problem, why he can't apply kumkum to her mang. Ranbir is shocked and asks, didn't you know the problem? He tells Vishaka that he respects her a lot, but can't do this. He says there is a proper rituals and customs which shall be followed. Vishaka asks him not to teach her and don't give her reasons and logic. Says it is puja kumkum and anyone can apply it, and asks him to take kumkum and fill in Mihika's mang. Mihika takes her tea plate in her hand and looks at Ranbir. Ranbir recalls Mihika coming to her and telling that her family has a doubt that they are not the real couple, so they will take some test or exam and tells that they shall pass in it. Ranbir asks, what would they ask us to do? Mihika says, whatever they ask us to do, do it. I will not feel bad, and asks him not to hesitate and don't stop. Ranbir says they are your family. Mihika says they are my family, but you don't know him, and says nobody knows him either. Ranbir promises him that he will do the test. Manpreet asks Vishaka to leave it when Ranbir doesn't want to feel kumkum in her mang. Vishaka says no and tells that anyone can have it, and tells that they have taken the rounds, so what is the mistake? Akshay asks Ranbir to think it as a blessing and asks when you are getting a chance to stay together, then why are you backing off? He asks Ranbir to take kumkum and feels Mihika's mang. Prachi recalls Ranbir's words that he didn't come here to take revenge from him. Vishaka asks Ranbir to hurry up. Ranbir takes the pinch of kumkum in his hand and is about to apply it in Mihika's hairline when Prachi shouts, asking him to stop. Ranbir asks, why can't I do this? Prachi says this is wrong and tells Vishaka that a girl's mang can be fulfilled when she takes the rounds. Vishaka says they have taken Kalash rounds. Prachi says they didn't take Agni rounds and tells that it happens in the marriage altar in front of fire. She tells that when two people get married in the marriage altar, witnessing the fire and God, she says they didn't take rounds around fire, so shall not apply kumkum. Ranbir says our Kalash rounds have happened, and I feel that it is enough to apply the kumkum. He is about to apply kumkum in Mihika's mang when Prachi comes and holds his hand. The kumkum falls in Prachi's mang accidentally. Everyone gets shocked. Akshay comes to Ranbir and asks, what have you done? He gets angry. Vishaka says, Akshay says this is wrong. It has to be removed. He starts wiping it and shouts, asking why it is not going. Prachi says she is feeling pain as he rubs it with tissue. He asks Ranbir why it is not removing. Ranbir says it was not intentional. Akshay says it is wrong. Mihika can't get Sindor before marriage. He says you can't feel Sindor in Prachi's mang. He takes Prachi with him. Away from there, Mihika says, what have you done, Ranbir? And goes angrily. Ranbir goes behind her. Vishaka tells her shocked that Ranbir was about to feel kumkum in Mihika's mang, and that means they have relation between each other. Manpreet asks, didn't you see what has happened? Akshay is very angry. Ashok says yes, he is very angry. Neha asks Abe to stay away from Akshay for some time. Divya reminds him what has happened before. Abe gets tensed. In the room, Akshay makes Prachi sit and says, how can he be so careless? He says, I didn't apply you kumkum till now, and he has applied kumkum to you. He acts crazy and says Ranbir has crossed the limit and talks big. He says when I asked him to apply kumkum to Mihika, he didn't apply. He says it is your mistake. Why did you lecture him about kumkum? He asks why did you hold Ranbir's hand and says it fell on you accidentally. He asks her to wipe it and says he can't see it. He pulls his right ear repeatedly, shocking Prachi. Prachi wipes it and says it is gone. Akshay says it is still having in your mang. He rubs it with the tissue. Prachi says you are hurting me. Akshay says even I am hot. He says it is dried cinder and asks her to come with him. He takes her to the dressing table and asks her not to move. Ranbir asks Mihika to come inside the room and says he needs to talk to her. Mihika comes inside. She asks, why did you film kumkum in Prachi's mang? Ranbir says it was a mistake. She asks, why did you take kumkum in your hand? Ranbir says you had only told me to do it and asked me not to stop. He says it was an accident that the kumkum fell on Prachi's mang as she held my hand. He is about to go when Mihika holds his hand tightly. He asks her to leave her hand and tells that her nails are hurting him. Akshay acts crazy and says, I will make the clothes wet and then I will wipe it. He asks her to look in the front and wipes it, but the color doesn't go. Prachi says it is gone. Akshay says it is still there. I can see it. He says I will wipe it and apply some cream on her forehead. Says nobody will know that Ranbir had applied kumkum to you. He sits when it's finally gone and says now nobody will know. Prachi gets scared and asks, why are you doing this? Akshay says you are my wife and nobody can feel kumkum in your mang. It is your mistake. What was the need to come in between and lecturing so much? He says it is your habit to interfere and says you are saying as if you believe in rituals. Then why did you let wrong thing happen to you? Prachi says it was a mistake. Akshay asks, why didn't you slap him if it was a mistake? He says, why am I talking to you? I shall go and slap him. Prachi stops him. Akshay says, I didn't touch you as a husband till now, so you shall understand that I am your husband. I am good or bad, but I am yours. And says, I get hurt and have feelings. Prachi asks, who are you? And asks, where is that Akshay whom I know? She asks, where is my friend who was good? She asks, if this is your avatar and real Akshay, then I will not bear this behavior of yours. She says, I am not your property. You can't owe me. She says she will not bear him. Akshay says, shall I bear to see anyone filling your mang with kumkum? And asks, who am I? He says, I am your husband. He gets crazy and asks, what do you want? That I shall see anyone filling kumkum in your mang? Music plays. He says, if someone comes and hugs you, then also I shall not react. Prachi asks him to go and leave the room. Akshay refuses. Prachi says, we will talk when you are normal and in your conscience. Akshay says, you shall come in your conscience. She pushes him out and asks him to go. Akshay stops her from closing the door and says he is not yet done. He gets inside. Prachi asks him not to come behind her, else the consequences will be bad. Akshay gets hyper and crazy. Ranbir tells Mihika that she told him that he shall do whatever they ask him to do so that they will believe that we are a couple. Mihika leaves his hand and tells that Bai is very angry. Ranbir asks if you are fine and tells that you have held my hand so tightly that it is paining me till now. He says the kumkum was filled in her mang mistakenly. Mihika acts crazy and asks him not to say. She says everyone takes my test and asks if it is my mistake that I ask your help. She says you are saying it is a mistake and tells that Bai got so much disturbed and I am disturbed too. She asks if there is something between Prachi and you. Ranbir says yes. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and come back for more updates from your favorite Z Word series.